No, hold on. This is 5 Minutes Funnier.
Hi, I'm Jimmy England for 5 Minutes Funnier, the comedy how-to. Today what I want to talk about is clean comedy versus quote-unquote dirty comedy. Now, I don't want to come down on people who like to be a little bit on the dirty side and swear and what have you. Standards have changed, and while it's not the route that I particularly like to take, or I'm comfortable taking would probably be a better way to put it, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. When you are swearing on stage, when you are dropping F-bombs, they work best if you're using them to emphasize a point. They should never ever be the punchline. They're always the emphasis. When you're trying to show how upset were you and you drop an F-bomb, it takes that upset up another notch and it will accentuate the joke. But it shouldn't be the joke. That's important. Dirty humor is generally the easiest stuff to do. It's the easiest way to get laughs. It's very, very close to the sort of thing that used to go on in the playground when you went to school. It was exactly the same when I went to school too. Nothing has changed. But the point is, it is so easy that beginners in particular have a tendency to gravitate to doing dirty jokes. That's well and good, but very few of those jokes are fresh. They generally tend to be a little bit on the hacky side. You're just simply restating jokes that have been told for millennia. Now, dirty does have its place, particularly in bar situations and things like that. It's a lot easier to grab the attention of the audience and whatnot if you do a few raunchy things on stage. It will definitely work in your favor. And I won't say I have never dropped a bomb on stage, but it's very rarely that I have done it. And I don't, actually, I think when I think about it, the time I've necessarily done it is usually when I'm at a show which is primarily comedians and we're trying out material, but we're also kind of catering to each other and not to a real live audience. So it's a little different situation in that time. The thing is that if you are going to be a, again, quote unquote, dirty comedian, you are going to cut down the number of places that you can possibly play. And unfortunately, those are places that pay big, big money. Corporate gigs, colleges, cruise lines, all of those things are going to be cut off for you. And they're a good source of income. And they're the direction that you really want to move into. Because at the end of the day, this is not just about going on stage and being funny, being your kind of funny. It's about making a living. And believe me, it is very, very hard to make a living in this business. So if you're coming in to do jokes thinking that, well, I'm going to be a star someday, well, you might be, but you might as well try and be a rock star because it's just as hard, if not harder, as a comedian. Working clean is a lot harder. It's harder to write those jokes, but it takes you up a notch if you can work clean. If you can find the funny without having to resort to dropping that F-bomb or something else that might not be acceptable. It really helps if you can do both kinds of humor. If you can work to a bar audience with the stuff that you do, but still work to a family audience if necessary, you're going to open a lot more doors to performing. And performing is what makes us go from being funny to being hysterical. Well, there you go. I hope you got something out of that again. And as always, I am Jimmy England for 5 Minutes Funnier. We'll see you next time and stay funny, everybody.